Hello, everyone. Welcome to Grip Lock, Foundation Disc Golf Weekly Podcast. I'm Hunter, joined as always by Trevor and Konner.
Hey.
Dang, super speed.
We got an interesting show today. We got a little Patreon question of the week. Champions Cup has been rescheduled for the third time. Is the third time the charm? You'll find out.
That is so funny.
Fandom Survey, and then we have someone who has left Prodigy. You'll have to stay later to find out who, and then we'll wrap it out with a little in the bag. But first, a little Patreon question of the week. This comes from over at patreon.com/Foundation Disc Golf. You can head over there if you want to get more access to behind-the-scenes content,
our peeps,
exclusive weekly podcasts, monthly exclusive videos.
Shout out.
All kinds of stuff.
Shout out Grant Bontrager. Shout out.
Real man.
Shout out Macklemore.
That's how you know how
unrelated.
That's how you know we're tight, because like I could just pull that name from thin air. I could probably pull 20 of them.
Do it right now.
Probably not 20.
Probably could.
I could probably
20.
pull, if I tried really hard, yes. I could definitely get 10 pretty easily.
Let's not let that be a segment
Let's not let that
on the
do
show.
it. You know what? Actually, we need to fill some time with Group Block, Trevor. Go ahead. This question, though,
slower,
it comes
Hunter.
from our weekly
Bill
podcast.
Smith.
It comes from our weekly podcast known as the Heiser Club Mailbag, where people ask us a bunch of questions and we answer all of them. This one came from Micah Webb. He said, you're given a property to create your own disc golf course that'll be on the Pro Tour. You can do whatever you want to the property, and money is no object. What would you do to make it challenging, still easy to film and follow at home, and not be too gimmicky?
I want gimmicks.
I would buy
A Ferris
Winthrop
wheel.
University.
What Trevor and I said on the mailbag, which
Put words in my mouth, man.
this you said it on
I know, I'm just
the
kidding.
mailbag, is to
I
plant
put words in my
trees to build the fairways, but make them only like 3 trees deep. But other than that, it's an open field. So you have the wooded course aspect. You can still have spectators surround the hole so you can see it. Way easier to film. You still have the scrambling aspect because OB would be on the outside of the trees.
He's so sick.
So you can like still kick, go OB, and you still have to scramble through the like few rows of trees.
Yeah.
But you don't have all the bad side that would
I
disc
guess
golf
the
brings.
Yeah,
only way
I
to
like
do
that.
that would be to start with a lot of trees, I guess, and deforest from there. Like, you're not going to bring it. It would take so long to bring in trees onto it.
Log from there.
Yeah, interesting choice of
Yeah,
words.
deforest is that's
Well,
a bit aggressive.
Correct. You'd be deforesting.
Well, yeah, but like
I
logging.
don't have a problem with it. You know, as long as that wood goes to good things.
I mean, you're really backing yourself into a corner here.
No, man, we'll plant trees in their place, just somewhere else.
Not in their place then.
Not in their place.
We'll,
no.
we'll
In their honor.
in their like
in
taking
their, honor.
their place
In their honor.
in their honor.
Yeah.
Yes. And some of them are dishonorable.
I'm going to get the attention off of that real quick. I would think I would
yeah,
go.
right. As if deforestation is the worst thing we've said on this show.
That's true.
That's like the safe zone.
I'll just pixelate your mouth while you're saying it. I think this is going to sound really stupid.
Okay.
I think the best disc golf innovation is pine trees. I'm just kidding. Not really, just kidding. I love pine trees on a disc golf course, especially whenever they're like, whenever it's like a pine tree, like farm
rows.
where they're in the rows, because it's really good rough. Because you're not really getting through there, but whenever you need to get in the rough to pitch out, you can always pitch out, and you're not fighting with
They're not
undergrowth.
scraggly.
You're not
Yeah.
fighting with, because a lot of times the pine needles keep a lot of undergrowth from growing.
Yeah.
And so it's really easy to get into the rough, but it's really hard to
And
get
a lot
out.
of times the
So-
branches start higher up, so if you keep the disc low, you're only
Exactly.
missing the trunks. A good course like that was Hogback. I used to play that for college nationals. There was a good stretch of that course that was like that. I love it.
So
Yeah.
I think I'm just adding to you guys.
No,
what you guys
good
are talking
point.
about is
No, I
like
think what
I'm
you're-
all
where you
about the
plant the
pine
trees,
You're
you do the
taking-
rows of pine
You're
trees.
taking all the trees that Trevor's deforesting, and they're
Yeah.
going onto your pine tree farm property.
Yes.
where you're
Okay,
playing
so
disc
you
golf
use a
course.
different word to describe deforestation, and that
I
makes
just
it
wouldn't
okay?
have said it. That
Sounds
was
like-
all. I
that
was
sounds
planting
cowardly.
trees.
I'm owning
In
up to
my-
what's
I would
happening on my
find I would
property.
find a forest with a lot of trees, and I would cut down the trees and donate them to
What I was
children in need
doing-
of trees.
What I was doing was getting a field and planting the trees.
Yeah, have fun in 100 years using that course.
Money's
dude.
not an object. I can have a time.
Time
machine.
is
Yeah.
time an object?
No, I can speed
Time
up time.
machine,
Money's
yeah.
not an
I
object.
can't wait
Hunter
for
does
your
have a good point with
great
time
grandson to have a sick disc
Time
golf
machine.
course.
Money's
bro.
not an object.
He's
I can
going to
speed
put
up time.
everybody in the
Time is
That's
money.
a good point.
Time is
time
money.
is money, so he can buy
Yeah.
time.
I'll take the time.
Yeah, you don't make money, you take money. Have you guys ever seen that movie where like their life is time
Click.
and like currency is time?
Oh.
So like on your arm,
No.
you have how much time you have to live left. So people can live unlimited if you have time, but the time is also the currency. So like if you go to a casino, like you're gambling with the time on your arm that
That's
you're
a
like
crazy
and the rich people
concept.
are walking around with like 300 years to live, whereas like the middle class, like average person might only like each day they might get down to 5 minutes until they get paid that day.
That's basically what life is anyway.
It had Justin Timberlake in it.
Life is just you using your time as currency.
Yeah, it sounds like it flopped.
Well, it's a cool concept.
It's very
but
cool
I just didn't make it. I see clips on TikTok all the time. And
There's a message in there somewhere, Trev. We'll save it for the banter.
I think it all comes down to the Champions Cup being rescheduled again.
That's what it comes down to.
That's the end of the story.
The Beatles lose
I'll tell you right now, they don't have much time left.
So the tournament will now take place on the way from the southeast to the western part of the U.S. on that part of the tour. So it will now take place from April 25th to the 28th, the weekend between the Music City Open and the DDO, and is still set to be held over 4 rounds at Northwoods Black in Illinois.
Isn't it crazy that it took them 3 attempts to arrive at what everybody else thought was obviously the right thing to do?
I just don't know why they didn't ask.
Well, it says, here you go, we failed to properly assess the impact of Champions Cup rescheduling had on the newly announced DGPT Europe 2024 schedule of events. New practices are being put into place to ensure this does not happen again.
Yeah, like common sense. Are you putting in that practice?
The PDGA says, make common sense common again, huh?
Yeah.
The PDGA said that these dates were originally scheduled for the tournament WR Jackson. The professional players were consulted on the new dates. Finally. They consulted pros.
Oh my gosh!
We didn't realize that our timeline guy had a blindfold on, so we took that off. So we should be good in the future.
It turns out he was only looking at A and B tiers. He forgot to filter by elite series when he was looking at the schedule. Once we showed him that button was there, it really changed things for him.
Now that I feel like we're locked in here, I'm really excited about this event.
Back to April, where it should have been the whole time.
4 rounds at Northwoods is going to be hilarious. Like,
the
guys
final
are
question to answer. Final question to answer is: will we be able to watch the entire event?
We were last year's Champions Cup. I think we
not
were.
Champions Cup at
Ledgestone.
Part of me feels like they still were just showing us highlights of the really thick wooded holes.
I can't remember. We better be able to. It's a major now.
Yeah,
we better figure it out.
I feel like that. I mean, actually, I can't assume anything. I was about to say surely they already thought through that, but
yeah, they don't think through anything. It's gonna be sick though. Northwoods major. This is going to be maybe a steamy take, but if Northwoods was viewable to the capacity that it needs to be, I think they should have Champions Cup at Northwoods every year. Now that WR doesn't exist.
Well, it depends on the new redesign of WR. If they're able to
it's incredible.
If they're able to capture the essence of WR.
Well, yeah, and I know it's not going to happen because it's PDGA headquarters.
You know what does capture the essence of WR?
What?
New London.
Yeah, that's true.
Champions Cup in New London every year.
Way harder.
New London's so good.
People learn at Worlds, man. But I'm excited now. So now we finally have a major where it should be back in April.
A good ring to it.
Majors back in April. It is a little bit of an interesting the way the schedule will flow. But it is what it is.
Yeah.
It's Champions Cup. People will figure it out. But this does also still open up all these people who were upset because they were wanting to go to Europe.
Now you can all go to Europe.
Well, but that is now the different problem of are we about to have a split tour for that month-long, however long it is, Europe tour?
Sounds like it.
That's very sucky.
It is sucky. But hey, at least we'll have double the events to cover.
True.
Yeah, but
they just will both
how are we
suckier.
ever factoring wins?
It's going to be.
It's I think this Eagle beat Paul and Ricky over here. Calvin beat Isaac and Ezra over here.
But I think this year we need to really lean in and get a big whiteboard over here for Grip Block and start writing an equation. Week by week, we start figuring out what
how much each we
need to develop
the week of the event. We develop how much this win is worth.
Right. We need to develop an algorithm that determines how much a win is worth based on strength of field, the classification of the event, all those things. We factor them in and then we just punch in the numbers. Easy as that. Statmando, can you please do this for us?
We probably
won't listen to it anyways. You know us.
You'll just be like, yeah, but I don't really like that anymore.
Yeah, Hunter will be like, but silver.
No, there's no more silver events. Well, there's silver events in Europe. A silver event in Europe, that's worth 0.1.
I think we can all agree on that.
Silver event in Europe, 0.1. I just plugged it into my algorithm.
Crunched the numbers.
I just plugged it into my algorithm. Yeah,
consider them crunched.
Not worth anything. You had to win 10 of those if you don't know how to do math there. It's not 10 to win, so good luck.
Good luck.
We also got back the Fandom Survey from Ultiworld. They published 2 different articles here. One is which pros do we root for and against, and the other was a general overview of the Fandom Survey itself and who took it.
Yeah, I said we need to talk about that first because this is basically my favorite thing we've ever accomplished.
So they basically, the survey, if you aren't aware, they put out a survey every year called the Fandom Survey to kind of like measure the status of disc golf. And yeah, so first off, kind of sad, only 3,000 people took this survey. So,
well, I was about to say maybe we should have pushed it harder, but then in the same fold, I don't think they want us to.
Well, then yeah, the other side of that, they also, where did you find out about this survey? Ultiworld / The Upshot, which is who put this survey on, made up 780 people found the survey through them. I think we talked about it on Grip Lock once. Maybe.
We mentioned it when it released.
I tweeted a link to it. 637 people found out about it through us. And then you have 400 from Reddit, 382 from Statmando, 190 from Nick and Matt, 113 from Disc Golf Discussion, 100 from Friends and Family, 89 from the Players Meeting, I don't know what that is, and then 230 from other sources. So why we bring that up is because when they were looking at the data, they were kind of claiming that we skewed the data. They were calling it the like foundation.
They
like
said
people
that Brody and Ezra's data is skewed because of their relationship.
Yeah, they're saying basically people who appear on foundation's stuff regularly.
Which is... I'm going to say two things.
That doesn't skew the data. It's just part of the data.
Yeah, that is interesting. I don't know that that's skewing it. Now, I guess it's skewing it because of how much of our fan base like takes up the survey. But here's what I'm going to say. Number one, this is my favorite thing we've ever done. I think it's hilarious they had to write in because we didn't even try to. We did not tell people like go vote for Brody and Ezra, like skew the data, like because that sounds like something we would do, but we didn't.
No.
Number two, if you're a player, listen to this right now. Hey, you want fan perception? Sounds like you know the way. Come collab with the boys. Come hang out with the boys. Get on the channel. We'll love you.
Now, what's interesting is we saw, if you remember, earlier in the year, the PDGA put out their survey for the transgender.
Yeah, that was a whole
stuff.
different survey.
And it basically just went into how you're going to raise your kids was part of the survey.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah. Do you like, what was my favorite question? Like, do you like punishment or like, there was like there were like questions.
It was like, do you want your kid to grow up being, do
you want him to?
I can't remember what it was.
Yeah.
It was like, you had to choose between
like
two
good
things.
and good or bad and bad, basically.
Yeah. It's like, why can't they be both?
Screenshotted all the questions in case they deleted the survey.
Yeah, it was a very interesting survey. But on that survey, the majority of people who took it were central to right-leaning politically. I don't know why these surveys are fascinated by where people stand politically, but they are.
They love it.
This one, the majority of people that took it... What?
Did this one ask that in the survey? I didn't remember.
Apparently. It says number of survey
They just love it.
respondents by politics. The majority were central to left-leaning. So it's kind of the flip. Now, obviously, this is a much smaller sample size than the one that took the PDGA.
Probably just I don't know.
They also, how religious would you describe yourself on a scale of 1 to 10? Again, I don't know why they ask these questions in fandom surveys, but they do.
This.
I
guess I answered
0 being, well, actually it says 1 being not religious at all, 10 being the most religious, and 1,182 people answered 0.
Most people. So very different survey respondent-wise than the PDGA survey previously had. And they also number of surveys responded by household income. Again, I don't know why we're asking these questions, but we are. And they're pretty all just middle class.
Middle class.
It feels like we're being scammed.
Like we're being what?
It feels like we're being scammed. It's just dressed up as a disc golf survey.
They want our customer data, man.
They also wanted to add something about multi-level marketing. I'm now selling for Mary Kay after. I don't know what happened there. But
can you join my team?
Here's some what?
Can you join my team and then Konner can join your team so then I can get residuals?
No, Connor's already on my team. I saw. Okay, I'm not gonna go into it.
I already got my sample pack.
I'm not on the banter this week. Dang it. Just remind me in general just to tell you a funny TikTok.
You're the boss. If you want to be on the banter,
we'll give you a
can be on the
guest
banter.
appearance.
No.
Nah.
It was just a funny TikTok I saw of someone
anyways.
describing the multi-level marketing and about how people just don't get it, man. He was a guy who was trying to sell people on multi-level marketing.
That's
and it was hilarious.
Was he like being satirical? Or he
was giving a speech at a conference.
Okay.
It was hysterical. He could have been a comedian. He just was not trying to be. Anywho, back to the fandom survey. So, average fandom score for professionals. So, the fandom score describes the value that the survey respondents gave to a pro for this question. Basically, Player you dislike would get a number less than 5 with your least favorite player gain a 0. Player neutral would get a 5. Player who you like would go above 5. You can get a 9 to 10 to your favorite player.
Here's the other interesting.
That's how you get your Fandom
interesting
score.
thing about this. They mentioned like the data skewing, but why mention that when what you released is the fandom? Like, it'd be one thing if like Brody and Ezra, like as who is the best disc golfer, was getting pumped up, and maybe they already did. They know those results, and that's why they said it. But like for fandom, those are two like. Brody is very polarizing, but has a ton of fans in general, and Ezra is a beloved disc golfer. So like it's interesting they decided to write that in.
Yeah.
Well, I'll read how they wrote it in a second. But anyways, so the Fandom score, number 1 was Simon Lizotte with the 8.99. Number
sense.
2 was Kristen Tatar with the 8.64.
I'm surprised Kristen wasn't number 1 because like
I think she
how
was
can
last
you
year.
dislike Kristen.
And then Calvin Heimberg was number 3, 8.32. And then Nate Sexton after him, Matty O after him, and then Owen Scoggins.
I'm surprised Isaac isn't higher on that list as well.
Isaac Robinson
He's up there.
is 7.14.
Yeah.
What's his average score?
I feel like sometimes people just forget to think about Isaac Robinson.
I think so too.
Well, no, you were asked to rate all of them.
Oh.
So it wasn't like you're putting a name
they
in.
remembered
He
it. They
blends
saw
in
him.
though. He blends in.
Well, if you look, so you can see like the dispersion of people like who like and dislike. So like Nico LaCastro had 30% of people rated him as a 0, with 5% rated him as a 10, and 15% rated him as a 5. Whereas like Simon Lizotte had 55% of people gave him a 10, and
people love Simon.
maybe not even 1% gave him a 0. So if you look at Isaac Robinson, he was more, all of his scores were basically from 5 to 10. They were all hovering around the 20%.
The most interesting are the ones that are like that.
Yeah.
Where it's high 10, high 0.
Joel Freeman's one similar to that. He was a high 0, 20%, but he also has 20% of people are neutral to him. But his is more low leaning. Other ones that suck out. Barsby, people don't really know what to think about Barsby. He was kind of like
all over the place.
Middle of the same. Same thing with Luke Humphreys. A little bit more positive than negative, but middle of the pack. Brody, a lot more neutral than he used to be. With 20% of people giving him a 10,
well, that's
15%
us.
giving him a 5, 5% giving him a 0.
I guess that's probably us.
But
because he would have, if this got out to the world.
That's not us. That's Brody.
They tried to get it out to the world, though.
He would have.
Brody is us.
He would have more zeros. Like, people hate him.
You'd think. But
yeah.
I don't know, because what was confusing to me is the way that the people on Twitter, the political lineup of how people on Twitter that dislike Brody typically fall was the majority of this survey.
That is true. That is true. That is interesting.
So as much as we skewed it, it doesn't really line up.
Yeah.
Well, but it's like if Big Germ and Yuli were really high on that list, would they say, "Please excuse Joe Mez's Joe Mez has skewed this"?
680 people said they found the survey from us.
Right. That's the kicker.
Gotcha.
They didn't just see the results and be like, "There must be something." They knew that we directed people.
Then what else you call it? Kristen Tatar, similar, like very, very high. No one really dislikes her.
If you put down a 0 for Kristen Tatar, you got to rethink things.
It's like those are just toxic Paige fans.
Paige Pierce is pretty
so.
neutral all across. Not a lot of people said anything about her, positive or negative.
Dang.
Katrina Allen's slightly.
How many people gave her 10s?
10%. But also 10% people gave her 0s.
Yeah, she's
how many
pretty
people
even
gave
across
Kristen 0s?
Like
less than 1%.
Dang.
I see.
I was trying to see if it was the Paige fans.
Yes.
Natalie Ryan, still fairly unpopular, although a lot more people are neutral toward Natalie than I think previously. You have a lot of FPO players that people are just very neutral to. Like sense. Heidi Lane, 60% of people just said 5, which means like I don't really know. Same thing with Macy Valdez, Jennifer Allen, Maria Oliva, Jessica
Weiss. FPO
Weiss.
players see those middle spikes a lot more.
Now, this is an interesting one. This is the change in Fandom Score. So a positive number means the player moved up in rank of average. Negative numbers mean they moved down. If a player is not listed, they didn't include him in 2022.
Yeah.
Isaac Robinson was the biggest mover.
Because people didn't know who he was.
Which is a 30. So basically, I don't know what that number exactly represents, but a big move, positive. So here's the percentage change. Isaac Robinson moved up 20%. Nicholas Antela moved up 13%. Brody Smith moved up almost 12%. Alden moved up 10%. Some of the players that moved down,
a lot of
Natalie Ryan dropped 31%. So actually, never mind. She tanked a little bit. Oh. Drew Gibson dropped 21%. Katrina Allen dropped 17%.
Didn't play well.
Sarah Hokum dropped 13%. Maria Oliva dropped 12%. One of the things with FPO that I noticed is if the players spoke out either way on the Natalie Ryan issued, it dropped their Fandom score. Because players who are like more in support still drop their Fandom Score. Players who are adamantly against still drop their Fandom Score. So it just made them more polarizing.
Right.
So it's probably more people became big fans of them, but more people also disliked them stronger.
Sure.
Let's see here. So Paige Pierce down 10%, Paul Macbeth down 8%, Ricky Wysocki down 8%, Kat Merch down 8%, Dickerson down 5%, Kristen Tatar down 5% from last year. Interesting.
Haters.
I think Simon basically stayed the exact same. Yeah, Simon didn't move at all.
Interesting.
This is where they first said, so Brody Smith and Ezra Aderhold both made significant gains. They are featured on programming by Foundation Disc Golf. Smith is a part owner, so they were likely boosted by a significant number of respondents who found out about the survey through Foundation.
That's us.
So that's where they're saying, like, Brody moved up a ton, and they're claiming that's probably...
That's pretty well worded,
I'm going to hang that
like.
on my wall.
That's pretty well worded.
Yeah. No, it's reasonable.
It is reasonable.
I love it.
Yeah.
I just love it. I think it's the funniest
He loves
thing.
it.
It's just, I'm debating next year which way do we go. Next year, do we not push it at all? Or
No,
next year, we turn
it.
this into the Foundation
No,
survey?
we push it.
Well, do you really think they didn't want us to push it?
Yeah, no, we push it hard. We don't tell anybody what to do, though.
Well, no, we don't tell people how to vote.
But I think we push it harder next year.
But I'm just saying, like...
I want to be the number one source next year. I want it to be
well,
like...
do we try to get this where it says, like, Foundation 4,000 people and then Ulti-World 600?
Yes.
Or do we just have it just,
Yes.
like, we don't push it at all,
No.
so it's just, like...
No, we definitely push it hard. Because we got to see what it does. I mean, we have to know what we're capable of at this point.
I think that might be true. But we'll have to remember that next year.
Yeah.
We'll
Set a
back to
reminder, Konner.
And it does make people want to be nice to us.
Also a fair point.
Or hate us.
Yeah, we're going to...
If there was a Foundation one on there, it would just be split 50-50,
But hey,
10s
guys,
and zeros.
don't, like, be honest. Like, don't skew it.
Don't be honest, Trevor just said. Trevor said, guys, don't be honest. Changing Fandom Score after an important win. I think this is interesting here. Very interesting, actually. So first off, Isaac Robinson went up 2.7%. After the win, 2.7% higher. Matty O, 9.1% post MVP Open win. Holland Hanley down 2.4%. She won throw pink, but
Cheating
you remember a lot of people think she cheated intentionally.
This guy, not one of them.
There's not enough evidence for me to call someone a cheater. Is my whole thing.
I agree.
Like calling someone a cheater, like you better know that you know that you know before you're accusing them of something of that level, especially with how big of a win it was.
I stand with Hunt.
So I'm not saying she didn't cheat. I'm saying there's not enough evidence to say she did, so therefore she's innocent until proven guilty.
That right there.
And she's the only one that knows if she cheated or not. So
at the
end of the day, she's the one that has to live with the fact that she knows if she saw it go OB or not. Or stay OB. Hex, yeah?
Yeah.
I bet MVP wouldn't let it happen or something.
We stamped that on a hex?
Yeah. MVP would
Well, I feel like if you stamped it on a hex, it'd be really confusing.
We should because that's just a little spite coming out. We shouldn't have done that. We're back.
We call that a spite-heiser.
Kyle Klein went up 2.3% after USDGC. So this is interesting. So basically how they did it, I'm trying to figure out how they know where stuff went up. Because they said the respondents who took this survey after Robinson's Worlds win on average gave him a 2.7% higher Fandom Score than... Okay, so it's basically people took this survey before they had a win, and people took the survey after. Not the same people, but different groups.
I understand.
And so the people who took it after gave him a 2.7% higher Fandom Score than people who responded before he won Worlds. That makes a lot of sense. Same thing with Matty O. So that makes sense. And Holland Hanley's went down. Kyle Klein had a slight bump. So that makes more sense. Now, this is an interesting one, too. Who is your favorite MPO player? 31% of people said Simon Lizotte. 20% of people said Calvin Heimberg. 10% still said Paul Macbeth.
So Paul Macbeth still is high in that category.
He's number 3rd.
Lower on the other list, yeah.
Well, his overall Fandom Score went down, but he's still a lot of people's favorite pros.
Makes sense.
Egan McMahon's next. Isaac Robinson and Egan McMahon are tied now. That was a fascinating one to me. Both had 4% of people say they're their favorite
Isaac's
player.
a likable player.
Yeah, a lot of people like Isaac. A lot of my friends really like Isaac.
Now, because then, this is the other thing that's interesting to me. So, remember, Simon Lizotte, 31% of people, he's their favorite. Calvin Heimberg, 20%. Paul Macbeth, 10%. Ricky Wysocki, also making $1 million a year, same as Paul, 2.5%.
Wow.
Of people said they're his favorite. To put that into perspective, around him, you have Gannon Burr at 2.3 and Brody Smith at 2.1.
I would expect Gannon Burr to be higher on that list.
Yeah.
He's not a lot of people's favorite. Like,
yeah.
This is just,
that makes sense.
They ask people this, like, your favorite person, you check one name.
Yeah, okay,
this
that
is what
makes
people
sense.
say.
It's tough for anybody to beat out. Like Simon and Calvin dominate so much that list, and Paul still hangs on to it, that it's tough for anybody else to have a decent percentage.
Yeah.
Because like those guys are just a lot of people love them.
Who would you click?
I probably did click somebody. I voted.
I don't remember who I clicked.
I don't remember. I definitely remember.
I didn't do it.
Brody Smith.
You voted Brody?
Well, but that's not a lie because of anybody in the field who I'd want to win, it's Brody. So that was not.
That's fair.
I was not skewing the survey. That is
my just favorite person like on that list is Brody for sure.
So there you go.
So the percentage change in who is your favorite MPO player: Simon went up 10%, Calvin went up 8%, Isaac Robinson went up 3.7%, Gannon Burr went up nearly 2%, Brody Smith went up 1%, Cole Redolin 1%. The interesting drops here: Paul, even though he's still in third, dropped by almost 7%, 6.6. Ricky dropped 2.6%.
Winning a world title, they're like missing a good bit of the tour.
Yeah. Now, favorite FPO player, nearly 50% of people said Christian Tatar. Second, though, was 11% said Owen Scoggins.
Heck yeah.
Then you come into Paige Pierce. Now, they didn't put the change in for FPO because I'd be interested to have seen, and I could probably look up 2022 Fandom Survey Ultiworld because I'm curious what
Are you okay?
What's going on back there, Con?
Oh,
I'm holding in a sneeze right now.
Oh, I'm curious how many people said Paige was their favorite player last year. That makes sense. Who is your favorite player? Oh, so last year they just sneeze, Connor. Just sneeze.
He's killing me back there. I can't. Whenever you're laughing like that.
So last
Nothing
year,
makes you laugh hard.
they just like gave you the number of people who voted for people instead, which is interesting. But so last year they put MPO and FPO all into one graph.
The data?
So you had, they just changed how they presented it.
Oh.
So like 267 people voted for Lazat. They didn't tell you the percentage there.
I understand.
But so last year, 18 people voted for Paige Pierce, 84 voted for Kristen Tatar. They also had MPO and FPO in one. So people had to say, Kristen Tatar is my favorite player, period. Versus this year, it was like, who's your favorite MPO player and who's your favorite FPO player? So we actually can't really look at the change. That's probably why they weren't able to split it last year last year. And then they asked which player would you most want to hang out with. 30% of people said Simon. Calvin was 2, Matteo 3, Sexton 4.
Paul falls further down that list than
Paul
his
McBeth,
favorite player.
Yeah, Paul McBeth's at 2.5%, surrounded by Isaac Robinson at 2.2, Brody Smith 2.7. I think it's because when Paul's your favorite player, it's not because you find him like a really fun guy you want to be around. It's because you probably got in the sport around my era or y'all's era where it's just Paul was dominant.
Yeah.
You were never drawn to Paul for...
It was like his no-nonsense game that made you like him, but a no-nonsense game doesn't make you want to hang out with somebody.
Yeah, like Simon sounds like Simon, fun time. Calvin, I think it's just...
I don't quite get that. Like, I know he's a nice guy.
His personality comes through in like practice round stuff. Like if you watch,
that's true. That's true.
Watch that stuff.
Honestly, a guy I'd like to hang out with on that list, Big Rick. I think it'd be fascinating.
It would be interesting if you get Ricky telling stories.
I think playing around at disc golf with Ricky Wysocki would be endless fun.
Eagle McMahon also pretty far down this list.
Yeah,
1.3%.
No, I don't want to play with Eagle.
Eagle's a big.
Rick?
I don't want to play with Eagle.
Eagle and Gannon are both big off players this offseason. But when you like look at this survey, and you do have to take it with a grain of salt because it's only 3,000 people at the end of the day. Not a huge survey.
Yeah.
But in general, it's a good enough sampling size to give you a feel. The popularity of Gannon and Eagle is way less when you're looking in comparison to the Simon, Calvin, even the Ricky Pauls of the world. Way less than I thought.
It's like you said, only 3,000 people took it. It's tough.
Yeah, I do think part of Eagles was he stopped YouTube.
Yeah,
and I think
he stopped being vegan.
That also
lost the whole vegan community.
Because what was Eagle's last upload? When Eagle was uploading, like he was doing his vlogs, I think that was because that's what really took Simon to the next level.
Yeah.
Right. Because like he uploaded, he has like a vlog 8 days ago, then a vlog 2 months ago. He was uploading a decent bit 2 months ago, then 3. Like he's nowhere near as consistent as he used to be. Like 4 or 5, but then he takes like a month break, and then a little bit 6 months ago, a little bit 8 months ago, a little bit 9 months ago. Like in the last year, he's probably uploaded, it looks like 15 videos over the course of a year. Mm-hmm. So nowhere near as consistent as he used to be when it was like nearly weekly videos. Whereas I'm pretty sure Simon is still doing weekly videos.
I think so.
I'm almost positive. Simon's almost at 200,000 subscribers. Good for him.
He's a beast.
Yeah, Simon does weekly videos. So like I think that was like a big split where Simon kept growing in popularity was literally just the effort on YouTube. And then obviously Simon won a bunch last year, but
people love Simon.
There's the Fandom Survey. It's time to jump over into Trevor's Trivia. We should have more results of the Fandom Survey probably next week. I'll probably post them today. Obviously, it's Tuesday. We didn't post yesterday.
Yeah, we kind of almost trapped everybody into the grip locked curse. Like maybe I've literally decided, like I have actually decided, I've decided this because this is what I would do if I were another company that didn't like us. I think that there's like a number of companies or news places that are like purposely releasing stuff Monday afternoon or Tuesday morning.
Well, bad news for them. We have cultivated a plan that'll be revealed in a latter date that makes the grip lock curse null and void. So
we're daily grip lock.
Well, because
just kidding.
To say, I'll back Trevor here because we started grip lock on Thursdays originally. Mm-hmm. Then we at some point moved them to Tuesdays, I think. But this is like the third iteration of day for grip lock. As grip lock got more popular, and it was still on Thursdays, the grip lock curse has always existed.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't when we first started because no one really cared. But as grip lock got more popular, when it was on Thursdays, news would always release on Friday. Mm-hmm. So we moved it to like try to catch some of the news more. We moved it back in the week so that it'd be like a little bit fresher on people's mind when we did it. And then the news started moving back with us to like Thursdays. And then we moved it to Mondays because like, well, you know, that makes the most sense. Tournaments happen. Announcements happen during the weekends. That's when all the news should be coming out. And that's when all the tournaments happen. So then Monday's the perfect day for grip lock. And then all the announcement moves to Tuesday. Call me conspiracy theorist if you want. But I think there's a reason. I think there's a reason.
All right, I've got a really fun game today. I think we're going to enjoy this.
Okay.
It's going to really test the limits of my pronunciation skills.
Oh, if your pronunciation skills.
You guys ever...
Trevor's Trivia is just for Trevor.
You guys ever hear the computer game Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego?
Nope.
No, sir.
Okay.
Who is Carmen Sandiego?
Is that like Call of Duty?
Game. No, it was like a computer
Like,
game.
where's Waldo?
Doesn't even matter. I've just thrown it out there. Today we're playing a game called Where in the World is That Course?
Okay.
I have courses. I have 9 courses here that all exist outside of the United States.
So, do we know these courses?
I'm going to give you no.
Okay, good.
I'm going to give you the name of the course, and you are going to just drawing what you can from that name and or my terrible pronunciation of it. You're going to try and guess where that course is in the world. You're each going to guess
like country, state.
You can guess
territory.
as specific as you would like, but you can be as broad as. Like at least country.
So if I think
country.
If you guys both are in on the same
this?
country, then go region or city so we can tie break it.
If Konner guesses somewhere, and he tries to go specific, and I think that he's on the wrong continent. If I say like he says something that's in Europe,
it's gonna be we're going literally miles.
I go Asia.
No, it needs to be.
Then we can't go
least,
country.
You said at least country.
Here's what I'm gonna say. So we're going by miles, like to the destination.
So
if you just guess a country, I'm going to pick the capital as your starting spot.
Okay.
So you are allowed to give a city, but if you don't, the capital is your default.
I don't know any cities. I barely even know any countries.
Well, then the capital will just be your default. That's fine.
Yeah, that's
if you guess the right country and somebody doesn't. Well,
let's see. I know about Canada.
You should have asked if we knew what GeoGuessr was.
Here's what else I'm going to say. If you guess the right country, like let's say a course was in the south of France, and Hunter and you guessed France, and I just gave you the capital by default, and Hunter guessed Belgium, but a city in Belgium that was actually closer to the course, but in Belgium. If you guess the country, you win by default. The miles don't matter. It only matters if you guys are in the same country.
I like it.
So that way, it's not we're not getting too crazy with it.
How many are there?
There are 9 of these.
I don't even know if I know 9 countries.
Okay. The very first course, some of these you're going to be able to infer from the language. Some of these you will not be able to at all. We're going to start with...
We're about to show how dumb we are.
Yeah, this is not going to be good for me.
I'll even give you the pronunciation or the translations. The first one is Molineta Disc Golf Park. That translates to Pinwheel Park.
Can I go first?
Sure.
Argentina.
Okay.
I'm going to go Finland.
The answer is Spain.
Okay, so I was closer.
I'm gonna just keep.
I don't know. I'm not. I'm gonna close my mouth.
Is closer.
Finland's closer to Spain. That doesn't make any sense to me.
Spain's in Europe-ish, and Argentina's in South America.
You're right. That was stupid.
I'm gonna
I was
double.
thinking
Well,
they-
it's
I'm gonna
stupid.
zoom out
They both
enough to
speak
double check
Spanish.
that.
Language-wise, you're a lot closer than me.
They both speak Spanish. I think
Yeah.
we should go by culture.
I'm gonna zoom out just enough to double check that reasoning.
We go by
but-
culture.
Go by culture.
America.
Yeah.
Oh,
feminist.
you can't find that culture in the
lot.
U.S.? Oh,
Okay.
come on.
1-0 to Big Hans.
I mean, whenever I say my answer, I'm not gonna say another word because it's just gonna get worse.
I didn't even think about this as a geography game. It's more like just a guess a country game, but that is funny. The next one we have is Merlimont Opal Disc Golf Club. Hunter, you have first guess.
France.
Dang it!
You can guess France, but
Then I'm gonna say
if you'd like, but then you have to get more specific.
Paris.
Isn't that the capital of France?
Yes.
I don't know. So we both guessed
Oh,
Paris.
dang it! What did we do there, Trev?
Well,
Big
can
Trev.
somebody else? Would somebody else like to guess a different city?
What, the,
If you give me another
Nantes?
city,
Nantes?
I believe Nantes is a city.
if you give me another city, that can be my guess.
I'll go with the Nantes one. Niche, Nantes, Nantes.
I think
The
yeah,
popular
Nantes.
one.
It's Nantes.
Nantes,
Yeah,
sure.
there's,
I'll go
there's
with
a city
Nantes.
called Nantes in
Nantes,
France.
I went
Nantes,
Paris. He said
Nantes, France.
Nantes, France.
Let me.
Nantes,
so,
France, pants. Chinese pants and Nantes, France.
Oh, okay.
Nantes-
All right. Ants.
So Nantes is much more
Ants in your
easternly.
pants and Nantes, France. Sounds like a children's book. I got ants in my pants and Nantes, France.
Can you just let me do the game?
Oh.
I'm trying to explain who won.
I thought games were about having fun.
I mean, I just get interrupted. It just hurt.
Most tough.
Anyways, Nantes is eastern France. Paris is much more northern.
Okay, so we guessed who's completely different.
Let me
Wow, that's good.
remind myself exactly
Bagel.
where this course is. Merlimont.
Coffee.
That's pretty good. I'm
Northern
happy with that
France.
pronunciation. Merlimont.
Quarter.
What are you doing?
Northern. I'm doing a northern French
Here
accent.
it is. Merlimont.
Oh.
Opal. It's
The
in
Bronx.
Merlimont, France. So Merlimont is closer to Paris.
Dang it.
So
Okay,
1-1. Okay, the next one we have here is called Cotswold View Disc Golf Course.
Oh.
Cotswold View Disc
Here you
Golf
go.
Course.
Cotswold. I know where it's a place, and I know where it is, but I can't remember. It's somewhere in England. I'm gonna go London. Cotswold.
I mean, it sounds like an English word, so I feel like I'd be dumb not to go England.
I've heard that before. I don't.
But
know
there's
why.
not many courses in England. Where's Tottenham?
Tottenham.
Is that a city?
I don't think Tottenham's actually a city. They play in London.
Freaking Hotspurs.
Yeah, the Tottenham.
Manchester. Is that a city?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
I'll take Manchester.
Okay, so this will be kind of close, I think. So they are in England. It's in Chipping Norton, England, which is
Fun name.
which
That's
is
a very fun name.
northwest from London. It is closer to London. Manchester is much further north.
I'm goated. I'm really good at this.
Good.
game.
Wow. Hey, you knew it. You knew Cotswold.
I did something kind of geographical.
Which is interesting because I don't even know that it
Where-
was technically the name of the place. Like it wasn't.
I don't know.
the name
Where
of
have
the
I heard
park.
the word Cotswold
I
from?
don't know. It doesn't matter. You got it right. Just own it. Just own it.
I own
2-1
it.
Konner.
It's mine.
Next we have, and I'll give you a little hint here. This one would not even be spoken in English, but this is how it's written on UDisc.
Okay.
Shows Keenan Park, which translates to First Commemoration Park. Is Hunt's turn.
Your hint did not help.
Okay.
China.
What do you mean by it wouldn't be spoken?
Like you would not, if you typed that into Google Translate and had it read to you, it would not be read that way. Hunter's guess is China.
I was just going that maybe he just was thinking it was being characters and not in pinyin.
I'm gonna go with.
So I just went China.
That makes sense.
It doesn't really sound Chinese, but he
That
also
would make
said it wouldn't
sense.
be spoken that way. So frick if I know.
I'm gonna go with. I'm just gonna go with. I want, the Netherlands.
The answer is Japan.
Oh.
Because, it's characters.
That would make sense.
So Beijing's capital of China. It's mighty close to Japan.
Yeah, you're much closer than the Netherlands. So there you
Nice.
go. 2-2.
I thought of another word, so I'm proud of myself.
The next one we have is Campo de la Virgen.
De La, California.
And that translates to Virgin Field.
Oh.
It's your first guess.
I'm gonna go with Brazil.
I'll go Mexico.
Ooh, this could be kind of close.
It's in Guatemala.
The answer is Colombia.
Wow.
South Carolina?
Brazil's got to be
But
closer.
so the question is Mexico City closer
Capital of
than
that's not the question.
the capital of Brazil?
The question is Mexico City
Mexico?
Wait, I need to figure out exactly where this is in Colombia. This is going to be interesting. This is
the capital of Brazil is
Sao Paulo.
Yes.
I was just about to say it. Trevor took it from my
I
mouth.
think. Oh man, this is close. Oh, it's so. I'm gonna have to actually do like the measuring at this point because like.
Oh, come on.
Mexico City to Sao Paulo, it's like almost right in the middle. Okay, let's go for Mexico City first.
But it's gonna be as a bird flies. It's not like you gotta drive there, right?
Of course.
So I'm not even close to my mic.
Yeah.
I was like,
This is good.
I was like 20 feet away from my mic right then. I was just stretching. I was just playing the game. I forgot I was on a podcast.
Not 20 feet.
Yep.
I don't. How do you even do it like as the bird flies?
whole
Is that even possible?
Probably not in Apple Maps.
I might just have to do. We might have to do an eyeball call. On
You
this
gotta do
one.
Google Maps.
Let me see it. I'll be unjust.
But is the
That's
map
Sao
but-
Paulo? That's the course.
But
and
do
that's
they
Mexico
do
City.
the map
I mean,
proportionally?
to me, that's closer to Mexico City. But that's also my answer.
Do they do the map
I would
proportionally?
I would agree with you. Connor,
Just-
would you
just
like to come
eyeball
confirm
test.
that?
But are maps proportional?
That's not really important right now. No,
Oh.
it is. Let me
I
see
don't
what
care.
city this is near. No, this is
I
important.
like it. It's closer to Mexico City.
Okay, Mexico City wins.
I just Googled
I think
it.
I think it is. I think it is.
Okay.
Just eyeball test, it looks like.
Eyeball
Okay.
test. If we're wrong, the haters can hate.
Hate.
3-2, Connor.
Shake. Nope.
Yeah, I think it was just 2-2.
Yep.
Yep.
But 3-2, not
Why'd you
Konner.
give it to me?
Yes, you guessed Mexico City. 3-2, Hunter.
I said Brazil.
Okay, next we have Jackfish Lake.
Your guess.
Jackfish
I believe.
Lake.
Or is it my guess?
It is my guess.
Okay.
Jackfish Lake. That is how it's pronounced. That is the word.
No, it's
Just
actually
call
it
it-
is Hunt's guess. He guessed China first, then you guessed
Nope.
Argentina. Or I don't know. Just go. It doesn't
Wait,
really-
no, you're right. Because I'm thinking about the Netherlands one. Yes, it's Hunter's turn.
Okay, Hunter.
Dang it. I don't want it to be my turn.
Jackfish.
Jackfish, that's like I'm driving down this country. I'm just going to see Jackfish written on there.
Jackfish Lake is the name of the course.
He's not answering that, Konner. What do we do about that? I'm going Australia.
Oh, that's totally it. Is the capital of Australia Sydney?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Because it's totally Australia.
Yeah, I believe it is. Or is it Melbourne?
Whatever isn't the capital, I'll take the other.
What do you mean the other?
As in Sydney
Either
or
Melbourne or
No, Australia's
Sydney.
capital is Canberra,
nice.
I'm going to take...
located in the southeast.
I believe they do catch jackfish in Australia. And the only city I know is Sydney, so I'm going to say Sydney.
Okay.
They're probably close to each other. I
So
think
it's in
Sydney.
Canada. You couldn't get any further. And
I never claimed to be a smart person.
No, I'm just saying.
I don't like the way you peered your little eyes over here.
So here's the thing is, I think Sydney's actually closer because you would fly that way. I think.
Our cities are next to each other.
They're like basically next to
We're
each other.
basically in the same city.
But Sydney is like
no.
on the
I
coast.
thought Australia was big.
And I don't think you would fly.
It is, but like
No, you definitely would fly this way. You definitely would fly this way. Sydney is comfortably the closer one.
I wouldn't say comfortably. They're 10 miles from each other.
Well,
Why
but
can't you fly down?
one's on
Straight
the
down.
coast.
Scroll down. You're telling me you can't go right there to Canada?
No, I don't think you're going that way. You can't
Eyeball
even go that
test.
way. It doesn't let it scroll. Yeah, you won the last eyeball test. Connor's going to win this one.
Oh, I just disagree with that eyeball test.
That's
But
fine.
okay.
That's fine. I don't
Well-
care. 3-3, and we move on.
This
We
whole
have
thing's
3
a
left.
Protest.
The next one is Westport House.
Westport House. That sounds It's my turn to go first, right?
Mm-hmm.
Westport House sounds kind of English. Westport. I'm gonna go with Dublin.
I'll take
Dublin, Ireland.
Yeah.
Scotland.
Ooh, I like that. Yeah.
It's in Ireland.
Dang it.
I'm
Konner,
so
you're kind
cool.
of a beast.
I'm so cool.
4-3 Konner, 2 left. Next
I just
one we
heard
have,
the motherland calling me.
This would be for the clinch if you win this one. We have Stellies Disc Golf Course.
Stellies.
I mean, I could be anywhere.
Stellies. Stellies Disc Golf Course.
Stellies.
My turn first.
Yep.
Go ahead.
So disc golf course is part of the name.
It's Stellies DG Course. That is the name of the course as written on UDisc.
But the word course is just course.
Yes, just spelled normally. Correct.
Got to have English in there. Give me Perth, Western Australia.
He wants Australia.
I like Stellies. I'm gonna
Stellies,
go
like if I say with an Australian accent in my head, because I'm not going to butcher it here, it sounds could be Australian.
I know that we've already said Spain, but was that one of the courses or just a guess?
No, Spain was one of the courses.
Daggum.
Yeah, no repeating answers. I'll throw that in there. I took
okay.
different countries for each one.
Stellies. I'll go with... I was trying to think of a name of a city, and I realized that what I was getting to was Worcestershire sauce.
Ah.
Yeah, so that's not a city.
Oh, it is in Massachusetts, I think.
Oh. I'm going to go with Iceland.
It is in South Africa.
Oh.
Right on the tip.
So I'm close.
So Perth is definitely closer.
Nice.
All right. That's perfect, though. All tied up for the very last one.
Oh, gosh. I gotta think of another country.
The last one is called Palace of Pioneers.
Palace of Pioneers.
Is that like it's actually called?
Big Hunt goes first.
Yeah, that is
time.
how it is written.
I think it's your go.
I'm not translating that. It is written that way.
Oh, it is my turn.
And I won't lie to you, I was looking for things I could pronounce no matter what country I was looking in. So, like, while that gave away things earlier, don't place too much stuff.
Are we guaranteed? You don't have to share this information.
Okay.
I just didn't know if it's something you've already shared.
Okay.
Are all of these outside of the U.S.?
Yes.
Okay. Because I don't really... the only pioneers I know of were in the U.S., but that's probably just because I know U.S. history. Palace of Pioneers. You know what? I'm going to say Dubai.
Ooh. I like that.
Thank you. He likes that, Hunter, so I'm correct. I'm just kidding.
Well, my original goal was I was hoping you were just going to say a country. You might have. I don't know what Dubai is. And then I was going to guess a city in that country so that I could just, by technicality, hopefully be closer. Here's the problem.
You don't know.
No idea.
No, it's in the United Arab Emirates.
Yeah, but like I don't know anything else in there, so I can't just say Dubai.
Whatever you.
Well, I could just say United
It is the
UAB.
capital. It is the capital. So
We would guess the same thing.
Whatever you just said, Trevor, I've never heard.
Give me
that
South
phrase
Korea.
before.
what did you say?
South Korea.
South Korea.
I feel like it could sneaky be South Korea.
I was thinking Palace.
Yeah.
The answer is Russia.
It's
So
gonna be close.
I think Konner's going to be closer, but I'm going to have to double check here.
Oh, what part of Russia? Russia's massive.
That's why That's why I need to double check, because depending on what part, it could actually be. It's looking pretty significantly closer to Konner.
Dang, man.
It's very much on the western part of Russia, which is actually quite close to Konner's guess. Definitely Konner there.
I'm the best at geography out of anyone that's ever lived. I know where every country is.
I will say that was probably the most impressive geography thing you've ever done.
Yeah.
It was pretty good. You guessed a couple.
I'm a little bit, what you gonna call it, on the whole Cambridge Sydney thing.
Well,
If you saw what I saw, Konner.
That's totally fair. I probably got like 4 of those wrong because I was like zooming around on a world map.
Hey, you know what?
That
I
probably isn't
won because I don't
proportional
have
at
to try to think of another country. And I can't think
Just
of
name
anymore.
one more country. One more.
Greenland.
There you go.
Yeah, see?
See, you're a beast.
Name another one.
Sweden.
Oh, he's popping off. How did we not get Sweden for any of them? Like, it wasn't the answer for any of them, so I'm glad we didn't.
All of like the Scandinavian courses have the most wild names, and like
Scandinavia.
It's one thing for me to pronounce.
Is that a country?
Like a French or Spanish word, because like I know what way that would go. But you get up in there into the Scandinavian countries, those words are crazy.
Okay.
I don't know how to say it.
So announcement happened.
Big announcement.
Like a Lorenzen, Lucky, also, has left Prodigy. So the post, she said, "I'm leaving. Thank you, Prodigy, for giving me the chance to compete in the States and believing in me. I wasn't sure if I wanted to go all in or slow down my disc golf career, and Prodigy gave me an offer and pushed me to play in the States in 2022, and it changed my life for the better. I met my partner in crime at Bradley Disc Golf, Bradley Williams. I became a professional disc golfer and proved that I can make it on tour. I'll always be grateful to Prodigy. Now it's time to move on and make my dreams come true."
I think it's pretty obvious where she's
most likely Innova. Yeah, I mean, unless Bradley Williams is leaving Innova.
That's true. Could be.
Is it Bradley in a contract year?
I want to say that he is.
Double
move.
Ooh.
Contracts.
Both to Foundation Disc Golf.
Williams.
Can we start speculating like we're going to sign like everybody?
So yeah, Bradley in 2023 signed a 1-year extension. So he could be on the move too.
There we go.
We
How
could
much do you think we'd have to
moving.
mention that to like get? I think our goal should be to get one other news outlet or podcast to say that we've been talking about signing a player.
But will we even notice when they do?
Should be like Gannon Burr, like, yeah, could go to Discmania, Discraft, like maybe us, like maybe Foundation, like we could sign them. And like if we just keep doing that enough, maybe one other company will tune in, not get the bit, and then like say that in real journalism. That would probably be my favorite thing that ever happened. It beat the survey out.
Wow,
if somebody said that we were on the rumor list of like somebody getting signed and when we had no intentions of doing so, that would be really funny.
That'd be a good time.
We got to start smaller, though.
I do have to question, like, maybe it's already happening. Because I can't speak for y'all two, but I don't really listen to any other disc golf podcasts unless we produce them.
No, I listen to them all.
You listen to all of them?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's not happening.
I can't even listen to all of ours. We have so many.
Yeah, I don't listen to all of ours. Let's be completely clear there. I can barely make it through an episode of Tour Life because I don't have 4 hours of driving during the week.
I love them all.
I can barely make it through this one because I want to eat lunch so bad.
Let's wrap it up with a little in the bag.
Just kidding. It was just a
9
joke.
o'clock.
You got me all excited for nothing.
I was just making a joke. My apologies.
Hurt my stomach.
Time for a little in the bag.
Come on.
Last week was a little crazy. Black Friday, Thanksgiving.
You're just saying you didn't post a graphic.
I didn't post a graphic. So
what was it? What was the thing last week?
I just deleted it. I don't even remember.
You deleted it?
Well, it was like it was on.
I work hard on those, Hunter.
We're gonna have you do it again because you won the week before.
It was doubles team names.
Doubles team names. You had a good list. So we're gonna grant the win to Konner.
I can't remember what mine were.
You pick the.
I worked hard. I work hard on all of them.
I know Konner. Trevor had one of the like Sure Grip Locked Holmes and
Sure Grip Locked Holmes and Dr. Weekside.
Yeah, it was a little too. There's too much writing, so Trevor wouldn't have won. So it would have been between
Annie
you and
Glide.
And I think yours was a better list. So Konner is the default winner.
I win.
So you decide the order.
It doesn't feel good. I want people to. Well, actually, the people listening that's all I needed.
You decide the order.
You're a good list.
Oh. I will go first.
Okay.
And then I think last week I said me, Hunter, Trevor. So I'm going to say me, Trevor, Hunter.
Nice.
Okay.
This week's in the bag is satisfying shots to execute. Konner?
Satisfying disc golf shots to execute that.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I thought that was kind of given, but maybe not.
Not on this pod, man.
Whenever someone broke into my... I'm just kidding.
Dang. What the...
Whoa!
Yeah, that's interesting. You don't know where I was going with that.
That way.
I'm going to say... Okay, my first one... Okay, here's the thing.
Tell us.
I don't think that I'm going to be able to come up with any that are like... Yeah, you're going to win. So I'm just going to say shots that are really satisfying to me.
I think that's this list. Yeah. I don't think this list is a funny list. This is a relatable list. There's a difference.
Yeah.
Funny list is like doubles team names. Relatable list is this one. This is a relatable list.
Okay, mine is a little bit lengthy.
Okay.
But not crazy.
Okay.
Not a novel.
Not a novel.
I
think you're going to say the same one I want.
Whenever you get a rollaway.
No, not the one.
To like 35 feet.
Yeah.
And you make the putt.
Yeah.
Because you get the same score.
Make the comebacker after the rollaway.
Because you get the same score as you were going to get. Now you have the added confidence of a made putt.
Very good answer, Big Con. That's a great one. My first one is going to be puring your first drive when playing with friends that haven't played before.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of pressure on that drive. They know you as the guy who plays disc golf. You're taking them out to play your sport. You got to set the tone early that, like, yes, all this time I spend with these Frisbees, it makes me better than you. And it's best if that first drive can be, like, really far, too, because then one thing about this, like, taking your friends out there is, like, they might be able to scrap it up, but when you get to a 400-foot hole and just let one rip, that always blows their mind.
Yeah.
Because they're like, I didn't know Frisbees.
Well, if you take friends out that have never played before and you can throw at least 300 feet, you're going to amaze them.
Yeah. No, that's true.
My first one's going to be hitting a line when playing through.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And my second one is going to be big putting someone.
Yes. Very good.
Back to Trevor.
Okay. Next one I'm going to take. Oh, this is an easy one. Making a putt for the win. Making a putt for the win. Whether it's against your buddy or to win a whole tournament, you make a putt for the win. That's an amazing feeling.
Konner, you have two?
I'm going to say when everyone else on your card throws a forehand.
Oh.
And you throw a Annie backhand that goes 40 feet further.
Oh, just further.
No, like
I don't know how to write that.
I don't either. Well, like whenever there's a forehand hole,
successfully throwing a backhand
on a forehand
gap.
Yeah,
I mean,
that doesn't get votes, but that's it's okay. People listening, that's what I mean. Is like whenever everybody else is like it's a forehand hole, and so they just throw a forehand, but they don't get that much glide.
Maybe that's what I say. Successfully throwing a forehand when people say it's a backhand when people say it's a forehand hole.
Yeah,
that's when you prove them wrong, because that is true. Like whenever you're like, no, don't worry, because I've been there.
You're like, I understand disc physics. I'm gonna get more glide this way.
I've been there.
You have a second one.
I've been there. Yeah.
My second one is throwing an ace on a hole that you've been playing for years.
An ace yet.
Actually, just say throwing an ace.
Yeah, I was saying throwing.
I would
ace
like
is
mine
probably,
to be throwing an ace.
Yeah, that's probably like we probably
need to get any. Yeah.
Okay, my next one. I'm gonna go with.
Do I have one more now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm gonna say a successful backhand roller, because it's not a shot.
I wouldn't know. Never thrown.
Yeah,
one.
not a shot you throw a ton. When you get one down, it is a very satisfying thing to execute. So you don't feel like you have a lot of control over it.
I have my last two here. I'm gonna go with I'm trying to think of the best way to word it. Scrambling to save par.
Yeah,
sure.
I guess it's the best way to word it.
Yeah. Saving par, always great.
And then birdie. How do you spell that word? Birdieing?
Making birdie.
Yeah, that's fine. Making birdie on a hole for the first time.
It's a good feeling.
Like, I don't know what.
Add it to your collection.
Because like it has to be a course you play a lot. But should I just say like making birdie on a hole you play a lot?
Finally making birdie on a hole you played a ton.
Yeah, like that way.
That's it.
Yeah, that is very satisfying. I've been there too. My home course, I remember they're like trying to especially when you play a home course and you're trying to check each hole off. Like, okay, I birdied this one. You're trying to get them all. That is very satisfying when you finally get one. Because my home course was like 2 that were really tough.
Your last one?
Okay, my last one. Let's see here. What do I want to go with? I think I'm going to go with hearing metal on a blind shot. I think that's a very satisfying shot because you just see it go around the corner. A lot of times you even say, listen for it, and then you actually hear metal. And even if it doesn't go in, it's very satisfying to hear that.
Big con.
I think my last one is, I can't decide, but I have 2 in my head. Either like getting a disc to flip up for the first time or throwing a disc straight for the first time. Or throwing a disc nose down for the first time. I'm going to go...
It's so true, though. The first time you get...
Yeah, they're all like the same-ish thing.
Yeah.
I just can't decide which
one
is
the
better way to say.
Breaking 300 feet for the first time. I mean, that's a big thing.
That is a good one. But there's like this specific feeling whenever you see a disc fly the way it's supposed to.
Getting a full flight out of the disc for the first time. Because that's kind of what you're describing. Is like you finally get a disc. Getting a disc to fly the way it's supposed to the first time.
Okay, I would say getting the full flight out of a disc the first time.
There you go.
No, I don't think that. I don't think that gets across what I wanted to get across. I'm gonna say.
Hyzer flip is a good one too.
I'm gonna say throwing a disc straight for the first time is what I'm gonna say.
There you go.
Because you're just throwing them high, watching them die for so long.
Throw them high, watch them die.
Yeah, but
that would be a
you
really
finally
funny,
throw it. You finally throw it low and watch it go.
Be a funny disc golf shirt. Throw them high and watch them die.
That's what my brother-in-law. Whenever
I would say probably wouldn't let it happen.
the first time I played disc golf with my brother-in-law, that's what he said. He said, "Throw it high, watch it die. Throw it low, watch it go."
That's great.
I threw it into the ground.
That needs to be way, that needs to be way more mainstream advice.
Watch it stop.
That's a great bit of advice there.
Mm-hmm.
Throw it high, watch it die.
Throw it in the ground, watch it pound.
But you could there you go. You could also use that to just describe you throwing a sick hyzer. Just throw it high and watch it die. Just throw an absolute sick spike hyzer, which is like your whole career as a beginner.
And that's why they call it a tombstone.
That's why they call it a tombstone. Throw it high, watch it die.
Oh,
that would be on the design.
And together. Oh, wow.
Oh, my brain. It's flooding. Anyways.
Come on.
What's up, guys?
That's it. That's Grip Block.
Oh, is that all of them?
That's all of them.
Was I the last one to go?
Yeah.
Because I was the first one to go.
That was a good
list.
list.
First shall be last.
Hit him with it, huh?
That wraps up this week's podcast.
Did either of you have any idea what you were going to say before we started that segment? Me neither.
That just shows that we still got it.
We've still got it. We know disc golf shots. We know of some disc golf shots.
This guy's got crazy
sometimes
disc knowledge.
satisfying.
Geneva.
This guy knows ball.
Where's Geneva?
The convention.
That's what in Princess Diaries, she's the queen,
princess of Genovia.
Genovia.
That's what he was thinking of.
I had a dream that they remade that movie, but they did it animated, and I was like, why wouldn't you just do another live
And we'll talk to you again next week.